Is that what we're seeing, my ladies and gentlemen? Late transition? Or is this going to be a storm drop? This could also be a very effective storm drop. Savior doesn't notice this, especially if Pusan tries to attack somewhere else before going for the storm drop and tries to distract his attention. This could be very effective. And there are... Oh, this is not a storm drop. This is a DT drop. And is... Oh, scouted out. Drones already pulled away. Those DTs aren't going to do much of anything at all here. He's splitting them up, going to try and get them to different locations, see if he can get any of them away from Overlords. But it looks like an Overlord is falling every single one. Going to run into a bunch of sunken colonies and a lurker. So Savior deflecting that attack quite effectively. Pusan really hasn't been able to inflict any sort of damage right now on Savior at all. And that is absolutely critical right now. Savior's... While he's taken some damage, he's lost his Hydra's Den, lost some sunken colonies here and there. Overall, he's been able to macro up the way he chooses. He's got those Ultralisk upgrades coming up. We should be seeing massive numbers of Ultralisk soon. He's been on 4 gas for quite some time, which means that he has a ton of gas. We haven't seen any Defilers. We've seen Mutalisk. We've seen plenty of Mutalisk and Surge, but we haven't seen a lot of Lurkers, which means he should have a decent stockpile of gas right now and should be able to do a pretty solid Ultralisk pump right now. Some Zerglings trying to get a run by in at the natural. Going to be not very successful at all. I don't think those are actually crackling upgraded. And a drop coming in at the 1130, but they're not going to be very successful either. But Mutalisk and Scourge coming in as well. The Scourge picking off maybe one Corsair, if any. But yeah, overall, that drop not very successful at all. Now, Pusan getting a nice defensive effort there. But actually, no! Cracklings came into the natural expansion again, catching both of those photon cannons and doing some damage at the natural expansion for Pusan. And it does look like Pusan's virtually mined out at his main. Just looking at it, it looks like there's very little blue there at the edge. And now it's going to be very difficult for Pusan to move on to a 4th base. We see Savior, I believe, at the 530 is taking another base there. So that'll be base number 5 for Savior. But Pusan's going to have a lot of difficulty getting his 4th base here. There aren't a lot of easy expansions right now from. The next expansion is going to be about the 2 o'clock position, but it's not a great spot. And we do see Ultros now going to blow up that evolution chamber so that way he can actually get some of his units out. And because they're just being blocked hardcore right now. Finally, it goes down. But Ultros out. Needs to get some of the upgrades for him. I think he has... I don't know which ones he has. I think he might have had the attack upgrade, but not the speed... Or not the... sorry. I think he had the speed upgrade and not the defense upgrade. But, could be wrong on that. Nope, he's got the defense upgrade, and maybe he already has the speed as well. I haven't seen any Defilers yet, but I'm not going to be needing it here. Although a lot of Dark Templars, what do? They deal just a ton of damage. That's their only purpose, really. Dark Templars are to be cloaked ninjas that do tons and tons of damage, and that's a really good way to counter Ultralisk. Archons, DTs, Reavers. You need the high damage units for Protoss to really do a lot of damage to take down these Ultralisks. Storms are decent, but Ultralisks have so much life that even the, what is it, like 180, 160 damage that a Storm can do max, it just isn't enough. And yeah, you really need those Archons, you really need Reavers, and you really need DTs. You need some combination there in order to deal with any sort of numbers of Ultralisks. And it looks like Savior might actually be getting ready to load up for a drop here, and it looks like he's going to drop right to the bait. And if this is just a, 16, 24 Zergling drop, crackling drop, it's going to do a lot of damage in terms of just sheer amount of tech loss. And here come the cracklings, a couple of them being dropped here and there, and they're going to do a ton of damage here, I think, until Pusan is able to bring his forces back. It looks like Pusan is sending out his DTs somewhere, but he's pulling them out at the exact wrong moment. Terrible job by Pusan, moving his DTs out of his base just as the Ultralisks were coming, and those Ultralisks are going to be able to, and cracklings are going to take down that 1130 base. At the same time, those cracklings in the main are doing a ton of damage to Pusan, and Pusan is falling behind right now in this game big time. He's got a large force out in the middle of the map, but if he really wants to stay in this, he's going to need to take down, do a ton of damage right now to Savior. Maybe if he can take down both the bases at the 6 o'clock and the 7 o'clock position. Does not look like the 530 base ever went up for Savior. It just looked like it might. But I suppose if Pusan can take down this base at the 6 and the 7, that he could make a comeback here. But really, he's just in a bad spot. He's mined out his main. His natural looks like it's very close to mined out. And Pusan is in a really bad spot. Mutalisk are going to come over here with some Scourges. Going to finish picking off this Corsair. And finally, the base of the 530 position is coming up with the hatchery. But Pusan's in a whole world of hurt right now. Pusan's going to have to do something here. And it looks like he might just be forced to push in right now. If he lays back, he's just going to allow Savior too much time. And Pusan doesn't even bother finishing the push. He just GG's. He just realizes that there's no way he's going to break through there. So the Maestro, Savior, getting the win. I don't even remember what set this is. Wasn't paying attention once again. I have that little piece of paper that covers the score there in the corner. So I have no idea what the match score was. for this game. But Savior getting the win against Pusan, getting to see two of the older players play. Always a lot of fun. Always great to see CJ Entus with Savior get a win. And yeah, hopefully Savior can keep this going, keep being effort's second fiddle, and help CJ Entus and help them to do a little better in the Pro League. This is Deja Vu. I will see you guys later.